game number 1 of this PvP between everyone's favorite American Protoss. The bottom left-hand side, in the red, we have got Neeb. Up against the blue Protoss in the upper right side, we've got Astrea. Alright, so game number 1, as we kick this off and look to see what the players are going to be bringing us in the world of PvP. Matchup which obviously always has its mystery and its intrigue. It is a bit of a different one, PvP. A lot of potential aggression. Just a lot of different ways things can go in general, as we do see the gate and the gas coming down in the early stages. Second gas coming down here. It will generally be two gates to begin with, and of course from there the game can already go in so many different ways with the ability to go in towards different sort of, or different aggressive openings. There's a whole bunch of ways that this can go, really. I mean, you can go in towards 2 Stalkers, 2 Adepts, Stalker Sentry, look to expand, look to play defensively. There's going to be Neeb sending 2 probes across the map, so send 1 probe to make it look like he's scouting, and I would imagine another probe here to proxy a pylon and a gateway, and to make it turn into something like, or maybe not a gateway necessarily, but proxy something. Well, obviously sending the idea of I'm not proxying anything, so here we go. Pylon dropping down. I mean, another gateway is an option to go into 3 gates and just to go for a bit of an aggressive all-in push very early on in the game. Obviously, a Stargate is oftentimes popular as well. He doesn't place it right on the far right side of the map. Just places it down here, kind of bottom center. Which kind of suggests, I mean, it's not really a great position for warping in units either, so we shall see what Neeb has planned. His Cybercore's about to finish, and he is waiting for that, so it looks like it will be some sort of tech building. The 2 Adepts support something like a Stargate being built here as well. There's going to be a Robo facility from Neeb. Well, that also works. The Adepts in general support it being a tech structure because it means that they're not taking up that much gas, and so the gas can go into this structure here. And the Robo facility does drop down. So Neeb proxying up the Robo. There's 2 Stalkers on the way out from Astrea, gets a pylon to the far left side. Now, if the proxied Robo facility, a faster Mortal and a Prism, can then create a very aggressive push, as you see that already, that extra gateway coming down. 2 Adepts from Neeb starting to move across the map. And of course, Astrea thinks, well, okay, I've killed the probe that's across the map here. I've killed that probe, so surely there's not another probe out proxying, right? And that's why Neeb sends 2 probes out. Mainly kind of sells that idea of, yeah, you know, you killed my scouting probe, I can't be proxying. Robo facility from Astrea, though, which is probably one of the better ways to defend against this, right? I mean, a Robo of your own immortal production, etc. You kind of have what Neeb has, as this Adept actually cancels its shade to be able to kill this Stalker. So 1 Adept for 1 Stalker so far. I think Neeb's happy with any sort of kill right now, because his Adepts aren't going to be a major part of the army, whereas the Stalkers definitely are a major part of the defense from Astrea. This Adept's going to wander into a couple of sentries here if Astrea isn't careful. We'll just shade forwards the Adept instead. So we are just seeing the hallucinated Phoenix popping up in the skies. And on the bottom side, again, just Chrono boosting out an Immortal. There's the Warp Gate about to finish up from Neeb back in the main base. So Immortal's on the way up from Astrea as well. Obviously, Neeb getting his second one already Chrono boosted, so he's going to be up in an Immortal. Obviously ready to attack very shortly. Hallucinated Phoenix in from Astrea is going to see absolutely nothing in this main base. A real lack of structures. And so Astrea, I think at this point you start adding on shield batteries, you start wondering what on earth is going on, especially because you're trying to expand. I think shield batteries are an absolute necessity right now, as the 2 Immortals coming out of that Robo already. Prism following it up as well. Stalkers and Sentries out through the center of the map. Going over to the right side here. Astrea gathering up his units. A couple more Stalkers coming down. This is all set to go in the next few moments here, guys. It's all about to kick it off. As here we go, Neeb presses up the ramp. Good force skills from Astrea. Actually sections one of Neeb's Immortals off right away. In fact, that Immortal's in trouble. The Warp Prism isn't here. Neeb was a little bit overzealous, and he's lost an Immortal because of it. So that already makes this attack that much weaker. And, well, the Warp Prism also out for Astrea with a shield battery to heal up. And let's see what he can do. The micro has to be on point, as Neeb will warp in 3 more Stalkers already. Pushing forwards here. The shield battery almost out of energy. which means that now it's a bit of an even playing field. Oh, that Immortal takes a lot of damage. That's what Astrea has to be careful of, as Neeb is pushing Astrea right into the back corner of this natural expansion. Stalker's still taking some damage in the main base, and Adept is going to get a few probes, so that's going to cost some mining time. This Nexus is still taking damage too, but there's about to be a second Immortal from Astrea, and while Neeb having lost his first Immortal so soon, that is going to make this a little bit tough. Probes pulling down to the low ground, they're going to start pulling into this, so Astrea knowing that if you can just buy some time, this could work out. And even with the force field on the ramp, is keeping an Immortal out of the fight, although the Prism could lift it up and bring it down to the low ground. Neeb still doesn't have an expansion of his own, so he does need to make sure he kills this one at the very least. His own Immortal super low now. The extra little bit of shield battery healing every now and then from Astrea goes a long way, as Neeb will back off, return actually and try and fight, and he gets a Stalker kill, but that's about it. Starts up another Immortal from his proxied Robo. That's the biggest issue of all right now, I feel. His Robo being proxied really makes it so it's very vulnerable for the rest of this game. Astrea might even see this now, as he is going to fly past it eventually with this Warp Prism route to Adepts on the way across the map. So he's going to find that Robo and the gateway, and that makes it very difficult for Neeb to just say, okay, you know what, I'm going to go back home, and I'm just going to macro up, because again, it's a major tech structure he's going to be missing. He drops a Robo Bay back at home, so maybe moving in towards a Disruptor now as a follow-up. Warp Prism continues along here from Astrea. 2 Adepts in the main can one-shot those probes, of course, and that's what Astrea wants, get rid of some of the economy of Neeb. As Astrea already re-expanding, Neeb will expand as well. Instantly 3 full probes going down. Good micro by Astrea, doing a great job of this so far. Very well done. Really holding his own in this PvP, as Neeb's aggression definitely hasn't paid off just yet. You weren't aware of the groups, so the matches so far, by the way, guys. Actually, nothing's updated on Wikipedia, so I can't tell you. I don't want to tab out to Discord. So, yeah, I can't actually tell you, but I wonder how the matches did go. You know what? I'm going to check for you guys. So, Astrea actually went 0-2 against Skull already, while Neeb went 2-0 against Master. So, obviously, Neeb looking to go 2-0 in the group altogether here, but not just yet, because, well, that Robo goes down, so no more Mortal production. Pressing forwards with confidence. Good force shields, though, negated by the fact that the Warp Prism can micro, of course. Good Prism micro on either side, although I say that just as Neeb loses an Immortal. Suddenly, this is looking disastrous for Neeb, as Astrea just has way too much, and Astrea will pick up game number 1 against Neeb. A good for Astrea is you haven't even really had to reveal your hand, right? You take the first game because you're defending all in. You don't even really show your strategies, your builds fully. You know, it really gives you the upper hand a little bit, I think, because now Neeb doesn't really know what to expect from Astrea. And say Neeb lost game number 1, as I guess we should do intros. Blue Protoss player, top left is Astrea, bottom right, the red Protoss is Neeb. But imagine Neeb loses like a bit more of a standard macro-focused game in game 1. Well, then he can say, okay, well, this is what he did that I need to respond to. Now, Neeb doesn't have that kind of layer of safety, because in game number 2, he's going to be saying, well, he just defended my proxy. And if you defend, you know, I can't really learn much from that going into this next game here. I mean, my adjustment is going to be not proxying, right? Like, you know, it sounds silly, but it's the way it is. As we do see this probe from Neeb heading up to the upper left-hand side of the map. So just scouting around. Have a little look to see what he can get up to in these early stages. Second gate coming down from Astrea for a moment. It's like, is it just going 1 gate? But nope, just a few moments later than Neeb's. As Neeb again just taking all the precautions here, scouting straight up into this main base. And a cyber core on either side of the map to get us going from both players again. Early game PvP getting set up right now. See Probe taking a few shots of damage right here. Pylon going to drop into play, and again just going to be seeing Gateway, Cybercore, Probe, Pylon, all of this continuing to build up at the moment. And as these 2 gateways finish up, we're going to be seeing what the production's going to be. Neeb goes straight into 2 Adepts, so will Astrea. It means the players will have quite a bit of gas left over for them for tech building. This is going to be a tech building back at home, typically a Stargate if you're just going to sit back here. And there is that Stargate from Astrea. What's Neeb going to be planning then? Well, he does get the scout of the Stargate, which is pretty nice. I wonder if Astrea plays a mind game and cancels and builds something else. Doesn't look like it. Thing is, now he's being scouted on the Stargate, he has to go Phoenix. He can't go for a, you can't go for like an Oracle. Because if Neeb's going for a Stargate and is building, you know, and knows there's a Stargate of his opponent, he'll build Phoenix, and the Oracle dies, and then you're down on the Phoenix count, and then it all goes terribly wrong from that point forwards. Got a lot of adepts from Astrea. Actually going to be able to pick up the adept kill of Neeb here. And Shade back was interesting. He's going to lose an adept of his own in the end. That's actually a bit better for Astrea. He needed to shade the adept that was low on health really kind of far back. Keep it alive, but didn't quite happen. He is going to gamble, by the way. Builds an Oracle. This is a bit of a roll of the dice. Obviously kind of relying on Neeb not having gone for a Stargate, but he doesn't have that information. This is his first scout right now. If there's adept shading up the ramp, only one adept is actually going to be let forwards here. He's going to go for a probe kill, a good force field from the sentry. Will turn and actually misguided damage onto the sentry, a little bit split up. He's going to be able to dive on at least one of them here. Oh my god, he splits the damage across both sentries, and Astrea has messed this up. That should have been a dead sentry there. Neeb's very fortunate to keep this alive so easily. Single shield battery in the natural will defend as the Oracle flying through into the main base. I mean, honestly, the sentries might just be a decent target here, but then there's two stalkers as well, so the Oracle won't do anything either. And Astrea will not really deal any damage early on in this PvP. Yeah, number 2, not going his way. Neeb with a faster Nexus. Astrea only just now beginning to expand. And again, this Oracle has just done nothing at all. Another update just from this round of matches. Puck 1-0 up against Probe as well. So if you guys are just looking for other results, trying to keep you up to date here. That is Puck 1-0 up against Probe. Not bad for Puck, who I actually don't know who came out on top of Puck versus Cham. Who was that? It was Cham actually did take down Puck, so nice for Puck to try and get back into it a bit. And this Oracle dropped down to super low HP at the moment. More Stalkers warping in, Blink on the way as well. So that Blink starting out here, and well, Twilight Council and a Robo Facility coming in from Neeb back in the main base on the bottom right hand side, also getting going. Hallucinated Phoenix from Neeb, heading in towards the natural expansion, going to stand straight on through. 2 Oracles from Astrea as we see a bunch of Stalkers actually starting to look to apply some pressure. Well, honestly, there isn't that much here from Neeb. This forward pile on the low ground is quite exposed as well, and with a couple of Oracles to back this up, he's going to go for the shield battery right away. I mean, obviously the shield battery is nice. Ooh, Stasis Ward on the ramp. I kind of like it. Probe will eat it, soak it up though. Good pull from Neeb as he does pull the probes into this fight in general. Another Stasis Ward here, maybe try and bait some units down into it. 2 more Stalkers about to arrive from Astrea. Blink is halfway done. Neeb's about to have an Immortal though, and that's going to be a key feature to be able to defend this. I'm just going to be seeing that first probe in the Stasis wears out. And the Stalker's still just sitting down on the low ground. Astrea would love to catch a couple of units in a Stasis down there. Stalker's still positioned in the main base from Neeb as well, so looking good to defend the 2 Oracles, which obviously he does know about as well. Astrea back at home. With the Blink finishing up, is just going to go into the Robo. And Neeb invested into a very early forge here rather than any sort of other tech building. And so he's going to have already +2 upgrades on the way. It's kind of a big deal as these Stalkers blink away pretty quickly, actually. Doesn't want to mess with that Immortal at all. Might want to blink up into the main base, something that Neeb looks to be responding to already, pulling a couple of units down into position. What if he blinks up and just kills the Immortal instantly, though? It means it's a good amount of Stalkers we have here. The Oracles can help out as well. Okay, he's going to use High Ground Vision to pick off a pylon for the moment. I don't mind that. Neeb's actually going to be supply blocks, if only for a few moments here. Stalkers, don't know what they want to do. I like the Revelation. For a moment, I really feel like maybe blinking up, he could have killed the Immortal, which he'd had attacked the barrier on. But obviously doesn't quite work out. Another Stasis Ward here, positioning himself to just maybe catch a few units. I mean, Neeb sees this first one with the Observer. Don't think the Observer should reach to see the second over here. No, not quite. Close though. Real close. If it moves a little bit, it will be enough. The Stalkers are still poised to do something moving forwards. I mean, the Immortal, 2 of them here. Got to be careful of that. Got to be careful of a blink up into the main as well. It's not a crazy distance for Neeb to run back and forth between. Astrea using this as an opportunity to set up into a third base, by the way, as the two Adepts of Neeb going to come around and try and apply some pressure over on this side of the map. Stalker, Zealot, and Immortal from Neeb still sat over here. You think he wants to blink up? No, he's going to try and Stasis Ward. Now the Stasis Ward here is going to go off and catch a couple of units. Stasis Ward in the main, only one Stalker in the end. And I kind of feel like Astrea can jump on like one Immortal and 4 Stalkers here, right? Am I crazy? He is going to have to deal with a couple of Adepts back on at home, but he has actually dealt with that pretty well. I kind of felt like it was a good moment where this one Immortal was just wandering forwards. Well, 2 Stargates on the way up from Neeb, so he's going to really change this up. I mean, he sees the Disruptors, and so he's deciding, well, if you've got Disruptors, I want Phoenix. Phoenix kind of shut down by Disruptors. That's a nice cancel, though. Blinks in, gets the Prism as well. Good play by Astrea. That's really what you call capitalizing on an opportunity. Gets the Sentry also as he backs away. I like that. With Astrea playing Disruptors, he does sort of negate a little bit the +2 attack advantage that Neeb has on the upgrades. I love these Oracles still alive and still using their Stasis Walls just to try and turn fights. Adept up on the third base, going to be blinked onto by a few Stalkers, which are going to be able to kill that Adept off. Again, Disruptor count is rising, but so is the Phoenix count, now underway in production. Obviously, Phoenix should be able to shut down these 2 Oracles as well, which have been given Astrea just so much information. First Disruptor's already moving across the map. Neeb is going to have to be on point with his Phoenix lifts. Cannot allow these Disruptors to connect. Probes transferring long distance mining to the third base. He has the probes, may as well make use of them. It's going to be a Stasis Ward coming down. Disruptor shot into the center, hits the Sentry actually. He kills a Phoenix. Second Disruptor shot going to hit an Immortal or 2. That's really bad for Neeb. He's taking a lot of damage on these units already. It's a lot of damage on the Immortals especially. Well, I'll tell you what, losing a Phoenix, the other one just didn't come into play. It's a bit of a mistake right now. It's got to be said. Blinks on. Oh my god, he gets another Phoenix kill. He gets another one! Neeb's going to have nothing to fight Phoenix here in a moment. Hits that Archon with the Disruptor. Astrea is absolutely killing it at the moment. Great control of this army. Doing absolutely everything he needs. He's going to get the Archon, which he's brought low. He's going to get a Zealot or 2. Just paying back with the Stalk. It was really nice and patiently. Worked his way through pile. Oh my god, Neeb, his Phoenix. Need to be really careful here. He is coming from the top side as well. He just doesn't have the Phoenix he needs with the Disruptor still reinforcing. Another Stasis Sword coming down. Astrea, I love his position, and the way he's playing this out is wonderful at the moment. Absolutely killing it so far. Well, I do see Neeb has been given a moment or 2 to build up the Phoenix count a little bit. Astrea backs away and obviously went home to macro up a little. He's not continuing to apply the pressure, which he's been very good at up until now. Neeb is set to come in from 2 angles, and that makes us a bit more confused. And that's another Phoenix dead, though. Oh, and he's blinking back towards the Stasis Ward. It's going to catch a bunch of Zealots. Disruptors are still not firing, though, and he does send it forwards now. Oh, cancelled by the few Phoenix that remain. Next Disruptor shot will force Zealots to split, and it is a good split. Stalker's blinking in. Few Phoenix still low. Neeb taking a better fight here. Still love the way Astrea played it, even though he's caught a bit off guard. Was able to snipe down a couple Phoenix, kite back to the Stasis Ward. The idea is good here overall. As Phoenix continue to gather. See the Stalker's going to find an Observer. I like that as well. Get rid of this vision that Neeb has. Take away that advantage. Astrea man with 12 more workers going up to a 4th base. Neeb will try and do the same off over to the left-hand side here. Sentry and a few more Stalkers warping in. You can see Astrea's intentions. Wants to position himself. Oh my god, he's going to position himself on the natural. Neeb didn't see this coming with the loss of the Observer, and suddenly Neeb has to push through a choke point into Disruptors. This isn't pretty. I do not like the Disruptors being this far back, though. It kind of feels like they're not quite where they could. They could just be a bit more with the Stalkers, I feel. Well, now one Disruptor goes, both Disruptors go down or get cancelled with their shots. Stalker's still targeting these Phoenix pretty nicely. Another Disruptor shot into the middle, hits an Immortal. That's quite a big loss right there. Phoenix going to target down another Disruptor. Actually listing Stalkers at the moment. I guess the one thing Astrea really doesn't have is any way to reinforce this army, but oh my god, these Disruptors are monster moding. Immortal after Immortal going down. Recall comes in to try and save some of these units, but a Disruptor or 2 didn't get caught in that, and so Astrea loses a lot on the exit, but man, did he kill a bunch as well. I mean, suddenly Neeb has no Immortals left over. The Archons are low. Disruptors dropping down here. A couple of probes gonna get killed. I mean, I like the idea of the Prism showing up here, but I mean, the Phoenix come back home, and that's just a couple of units lost. Resonant Enclaves +2 attack, and the Gravitic Drive on the way up. So Astrea wants that War Prism speed. And Neeb's in trouble. Astrea's on 81 workers. There may be a few too many, but an insane economy here. With an army supply lead as well. These Phoenix numbers are kind of the majority of the army, if I'm going to be honest. Phoenix are going to be in trouble as well as the Stalkers blink onto them. Doesn't get a kill just yet, though. Disruptors are trailing behind. More Zealots warping in. Fleet Beacon building in the main base. Again, Stalkers and Disruptors coming towards the middle of the map. Stalkers in the depths, still just hanging out right here. Just going to be seeing these units getting ready to press forward. A few Zealots going to warp in, a couple of High Templar as well. And Impulse Crystals giving the Phoenix that range. Well, Neeb is alive and kicking. He's doing something. A few DTs coming around the left-hand side here. Archon's still just positioned in front of this Nexus. Disruptor's really hanging back. Astrea really keeping these very safe. I mean, is there an observer up for Neeb? There is one observer, and it is in the army. If that goes down, these DTs obviously going to be very annoying. That's annoying, though. He's getting the lifts on the Stalkers. Well, DT is going to take this a chance to, well, try and do something. A couple of warning disruptor shots as Astrea just continues to back away. DT straight in here and just going to get the cannon, but yeah, there's an observer in the army which is going to be able to come back, and these DTs definitely not going to be able to kill this base. Phoenix are here to lift them as soon as possible. Astrea going to use this as an opportunity to move around the side, though. That's finally the observer showing up, and the DTs will go down. Meantime, back in the distance, we talked about upgrades a long time ago. Neeb has +3, +1, and +1 being on the shields. Astrea has moved up towards a +2 attack upgrade. Obviously, he really just needs these disruptors to connect, and I tell you what, Neeb's out of position as Astrea will go up the ramp into the natural expansion, blinking a few Stalkers up here, and well, as Neeb's getting ready to take a 5th base, he's going to have to come and fight into this now. Disruptor shot needed right away, and that one probably could have connected, but it didn't. It was a little bit misplaced. More Disruptors flying in. I tell you what, the Phoenix are just not here at the moment. Now they're finally starting to show up. There's a recall, but only on the Disruptors. Astrea's left half of his army behind. These Stalkers in some trouble, and he's going to lose a lot of these Stalkers. Astrea has money in the bank, and by God, does he need to spend it. Neeb's later game army here is looking really good at the moment. See a few of you guys in the chat laughing about the upgrades, but the reality is, I mean, the Disruptors don't really rely so much on the upgrades in comparison to, say, you know, the army that Neeb is playing with. So it made sense that Neeb had a huge army upgrade advantage. It's the playstyle that these guys are choosing to play. There's a ton of adepts, by the way, from Astrea. Still up in overall supply, 92 probes. So that's why he's had such a bank, which he's just spent now. Resources lost has been really bad from Astrea, though. Definitely favoring Neeb, as he's going to get over here and, well, I mean, instantly just, what Adept's going to do? Zealots warp in. I mean, shield barriers are just keeping units, constructions alive right now. These Disruptors are not going to get a chance to connect because the Phoenix are going to lift up all of them, and Astrea played a real good game, but unfortunately it doesn't seem like it's going to be enough. We're going to be seeing the Disruptors drop back down. They'll get lifted once more. I tell you what, there's actually more of a hold here than I thought there was from Astrea. Neeb's army is disappearing. These cannons and shield batteries are putting in work. Extra Stalkers as well. These Phoenix, well, they don't have really any NG left, and they're pretty much cleaned up as well. So, blinking forwards. Oh my God, get the War Prism. There's a Archon in that Prism. Oh my God, he's got a blink, surely. No, he doesn't go for it. Astrea lets the Prism get away with the Archon. Wow. I mean, I actually really didn't think this hold was possible from Astrea, but here he is. Those cannons did him justice. Really working out for him here. Another Archon morphing in. Another Nexus dropping down. Adepts, Stalkers, and Archons continue to set up at the moment. Well, I mean, the thing for Astrea is he has moved into something beyond kind of just Disruptors, right? I wonder if he's just going to fall because of his lack of real tech in the army. How well are these Stalkers really going to be able to trade? He is about to have +3 attack, though, at least. Zealots start charge in. Adepts on the left side. He made a load of Adepts at one point of this game. Very interesting. Wants to jump in with some Adepts right here now, but cancels the shade. Just trying to threaten. Warping in 11 more Adepts. What on earth is the plan? I just don't know if this is going to work, because Adepts are pretty bad against Archons and the splash damage. So they're going to get pushed away. Phoenix hanging out overhead. Again, the Adepts just going to start shading on forwards. Just going to shade up into the natural, maybe towards the main, but there's only 1 or 2 probes in the main, so not much to kill there. Can actually shade towards the third base then, I guess. Okay, that works. You know, just pull a few units over here to deal with this. The Zealots don't do so great against the Adepts. And this is Neeb, again, losing quite a few workers, and Astrea just keeping up a big army supply advantage. Pushing forwards now with this army. Going in here already, only 1 Disruptor in the mix. Obviously wants to try and get his Adepts in the front, as we're going to be seeing those Zealots. In a little bit of trouble. There's only 1 Disruptor for the Phoenix to lift, but then the Phoenix can just lift so many other units as well instead. Astrea's army starting to disappear right now. Zealots still pressing forwards. Disruptor shot is good on the Zealots. I just don't think there's enough you can really do with these Stalkers for the moment. Astrea's numbers are falling quickly. It's just because Neeb's army is straight up better and more expensive. I mean, you can't just warp in round after round of Adepts here. It just doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that at all. As we're going to be seeing the army back down to the bottom side. Neeb pulling away. Have a couple of updates, by the way. Puck 2-0 against Pro. Time 1-0 against Cham, and Massa 1-0 up against Scarlet. And as we're going to be seeing Stalkers, Adepts, and Disruptors going to be pressing down to the bottom side of the map. Archons pressing in. We do see some Phoenix going to have to recall back home to help deal with this army. There's a couple of Disruptors, right? So he wants to lift those up. We kind of get the shots off. This is the thing. Astrea has 90 workers, so he can rebuild very quickly, but the thing is, he's just not trading well enough in any of these fights for the rebuilds to really matter at all. And Neeb is going to come crushing through this once again. I mean, Astrea, can he just keep this up, where he just keeps trading like this, and because he just has the massive workers? He needs to really kill a few of these Phoenix. They are the real issue. The energy just continually lifting things up again and again. 2 more Disruptors, 10 more Adepts currently on the way in here. Army of Neeb gathers up down at the bottom. Going to come shading on by. I mean, again, the idea is, I guess, to shut down the economy of Neeb and not just try and keep trading with this crazy fight. Pause called from Neeb here. As we just take a moment, 21 minutes in. What on earth is even going on? I mean, this is just such a crazy game. You can see 8,000 resource loss difference. Let's get this resumed nice and quickly for the players. Some probes here in the natural. Going to start going down. Stalkers might be able to intercept the Phoenix, but they both turn away from each other at the last moment there. These Adepts actually going to be able to pick up an Archon pretty quickly. That was surprising how fast that went down. Now the Phoenix coming in again. This Phoenix energy is just allowing Neeb to trade so efficiently here. So efficiently. And when it comes down to the bottom side, so it comes charging forward. Stalkers, they're going to pick away at this Nexus. See a few Phoenix wanting to jump in on this, maybe get the Disruptor. Going to be able to get that very, very, very quickly. Stalkers can blink though, and that is going to be at least a Phoenix kill. Actually, 2 Phoenix kills, so finally Astrea getting some value back in this. Neeb now has a mothership in play. I really feel like as Neeb maxes out, he wants to just attack, but obviously he's continuously pulled back by the fact that Astrea keeps up the aggression, keeps sending units across the map, and keeps Neeb busy, so that if he ever truly tries to move across the map, counterattacks might just kill him. So a lot of DTs that are now moving in towards the main base. Disruptor's not going to have much fun here as they just let get lifted by Phoenix after Phoenix. Adepts and Stalkers kiting away once again. All those DTs are going to go big in the natural, but I mean, it's a natural which is not really being used much anymore anyways. The target fire on this Nexus is not going to be in time to stop the recall. So the Phoenix get back home. And he's pulled the Phoenix backward again, and he's just got no way to really stop this army. Neeb is going to be careful, though. He's going to wait for the Phoenix to come across. Thank you so much, Albatross, by the way, for the 40-month resub. Appreciate it. Stalker's coming through. Phoenix taking some damage Adepts here as well. I mean, with the Phoenix lifting up these units, these Archons just doing so much splash damage to the Adepts. I mean, I've said it before, but I think Astrea is just dead the moment Neeb truly finds himself on top of these bases. You can see that Astrea is going to make it difficult by trying to run away, finding another round of Stalker Warpins, even investments DT Blink at the moment, but it's really just not going to be enough at the end of the day. Zealots, Archons, and Immortals all pushing through these structures here on the left side. Phoenix looking up a few more Adepts. Archons still going to town. Archons and Immortals pushing these Stalkers around as well. And well, this is kind of just going to be it, right? I mean, Neeb's got half of his army over here, a little bit of the army continuing to fight. So Stalker's going to warp in. The Phoenix don't have much energy left. He actually kills the pylon before the warp in. Stalkers will blink in and will get the Mothership. A time warp though. I mean, these Archons and Immortals are still dealing massive damage. Even the Zealot's able to get some good damage done. And Astrea's supply truly is dropping this time around. Another round of Adept warpins. But then the rest of the army from Neeb shows up and there's no more running around. There's no more hiding. There's no more avoiding major fights. And I like the idea of it. I feel like Astrea played a great game for Stalkers and Disruptors earlier. With a high probe count to just build into a lot of units. The idea was good. The execution later on was just not quite there, and Neeb's defense and way of dealing with this was absolutely pristine. He's called, and Neeb takes the a tied-up series in the PvP in the WCS Winter NA round robin, round of 8. Top left-hand side, our blue Protoss player is Astrea. But against the red Protoss on the bottom right-hand side, Neeb. After this as well, guys, if you're wondering what's up next for my stream, we're going to be casting Massa versus Puck. Just so you guys know what's kind of coming up, what's sort of scheduled here. And all of that good stuff. So kicking this off, getting this rolling. As we do have the gates coming down on each side of the map. I'm just waiting for the first couple of minutes to pass by, of course. Get a rough idea of how the players are going to be playing, what sort of openings they're going to be looking for. Are we going to be seeing any proxies? Is there going to be any sort of fast tech coming through? Etc, etc. Two simulators for the moment on each side of the map. Probe Corona boosting out of the Nexus. There's a couple of gates coming through here, and again, just going to be seeing the simulators finishing up. And Neeb going to come forwards to put down his Cybercore. Obviously, need that to finish before we can see any sort of real tech on the way. Interesting series from game 1, Neeb being able to play that very kind of aggressive build that got shut down, and then game 2, Astrea kind of going Disruptor Stalker. I really liked all the little different things Astrea did, right? Like a little, attack here and attack there. Trying to pull the army and Neeb around and out of position all of the time. I feel like Astrea did a very good job of utilizing the Stalker Disruptor. Just wasn't quite able to capitalize. I feel like there was some moments where maybe he had enough to win a fight as well, and then he just didn't go for it. I feel there was a moment where there was like 6 Phoenix and like an Immortal and Archon, and that was it. And he just didn't capitalize maybe on the one time he really could have ended the game really easily. Other than that, good play, but it allowed Neeb to get up to the Phoenix count. Once the Phoenix got into those sort of numbers, it was just ridiculous. And then even with the extra mining that Astrea had, he just wasn't able to keep up. His army wasn't good enough, and that wasn't going to be something that you could really do much more about, as we do see the couple probes still just nibbling against each other here and there. So a little bit of skirmishing. A couple of sentries on the way down from Neeb. So again, a couple of sentries going as we see the Twilight Council from Astrea starting up in the main base as well. Warp gate about halfway done. Couple of Stalkers halfway done. Yeah, Astrea definitely going to be a little bit of a cheekier player this time around. We'll see what the Twilight leads into. Obviously, it could be DTs, but it could also just be kind of a fast Glaives or fast Blink. At this stage, there's not really much to tell what it could be. Apart from if you look at his unit count, it's a lot of Stalkers, which then probably tells you it's very likely to be some stalkers. And hence Blink as his opening. So probes going down across the map. Oh, he's let probes into the main base. That's a big mistake. He never walled off, actually, so not sure why, but that's obviously very costly. 5 workers down, Adept stay alive from Neeb, and he gets the scout of the Twilight Council. Going for Neeb here, and Astrea doesn't do anything across the map with, well, the shield battery's still up, the pylon alive. Sentry took a couple shots, but nothing really too crazy. Now Astrea is going to lose a Stalker, and after the first 2 games, it feels like Astrea has sort of fallen apart here in game number 3 against Neeb. It just feels like he's already taken so much damage in comparison to what we saw during games 1 and 2, where he really felt like he was in control. Gonna get one more probe here as well. Neeb, 7 workers killed. Astrea is hurting with a later Nexus as well. This is real rough. Neeb just goes straight into the robot facility for himself. Just gonna build up that immortal count against the Blink Stalkers that are incoming, and that should be able to keep him fairly safe here. And in general then, Neeb just looking really, really good so far in this best of 3. Game 3. Our second series from NA today. Couple of depth shade through into the main base, and they are going to be able to pick off a couple of these probes. Already a couple of probes going down. Going to be able to try and get another couple here and there as well, so that's 4 workers killed, make that 5. 5 workers killed, and the Adept shade away again. Neeb just continuing to deal so much damage. Okay, the Adepts at least go down this time, but, well, still, he's up 8 workers. The army supply is almost doubling. He starts up his +1 already. He's got an immortal, so he's safe against the Blink Stalkers, which are unlikely to really achieve much now. Not looking good. Not looking good for Astrea. He put up such a fight in the first 2 games. Put up such a fight. Couple of Adepts hanging up on the top. Observer just about halfway done. Twilight Council dropping in as well behind the main base. I'm just going to see the Stalker of Astrea coming around. Actually going to turn back and actually going to jump on an Adept here. Just 2 Adepts in Neeb, just getting a little bit of damage done. Observer is coming through. Twilight Council dropping. There's the hallucinated Phoenix from Neeb just through the main base. Nice little scout through at the moment. Neeb just keeping on top of what Astrea is going for. Disruptors, once again, RoboBay dropping down just as the hallucinated Phoenix flew through, so Neeb won't know about that yet. Neeb building a Warp Prism and 2 more gates though. I'm a little bit worried. What if Neeb just goes across the map himself and just says, well, you know what? My opening is going to give me such a huge advantage here. What if I just go and capitalize on that? What then does Astrea do? I actually don't know. I think at that point Astrea might just be in trouble, actually. Might really be in trouble. Stalker's able to pick up that hallucinated Phoenix. Again, that RoboBay going to be done in a moment or 2. The Blink. Also still just coming in here as we see a Guardian Shield and 2 Immortals, man. It's just so powerful. Repositions the sentries to the back, leads the charge of the Immortals as he wants to try and get a couple shots off. And you have 2 more gates, 3 more, 4 more gates. Wow, so 4 more gates as he goes into +2 and Blink of his own. But there are the Disruptors on the way up, and he doesn't have an answer to that yet, or the knowledge about them, because he still didn't see the RoboBay. No, okay, sorry, he just saw it recently, this hallucinated Phoenix coming through. We'll see what his response is going to be if he goes into the Stalkers, the Phoenix again, or if this time he just decides to go across the map with a huge army to try and punish Astrea for taking into those Disruptors. 6 probes going down for Neeb here, actually, as he takes some real damage for the first time this game. And that's actually nice from Astrea, a little bit of a bounce back moment after things were not obviously looking so great up until now. And again, those Stalkers sat here, got to be a little bit careful of them. Neeb wants to move down and out onto the map, it seems. And he's positioning to do so. A few more Stalkers, Disruptor on the way across. So the fight's going to break out, the probes going down again for Neeb here, and actually the Stalker's targeting the prison means the Adepts get some more shots off. Neeb is down 15 workers. If he messes up this fight against the Disruptor, he could be in some trouble. Let's see, there's 2 Disruptors ready. Stalkers coming down the ramp. He loses 1, Astrea loses 2. The +2 on the Stalkers of Neeb is so apparent here. Disruptors waiting for the perfect moment. Astrea has that worker account lead. If he can just hold on somehow, you can just find these disruptor connections. Let's see, units are going to go forwards. The blink is there. Oh my god, but the disruptors do kill off pretty much everything in the background. The two just mortals do survive, I guess. And I think the two immortals surviving is probably enough of a stalker warp in as well. Obviously now the disruptors are dead as well, and he's going to kill at the very least a ton of probes. Warp Prism will fall. The immortals will be targeted next, but well, then Neeb has an attack upgrade lead, and he's going to be having himself the ability just to blink around, because he also finished up his own blink upgrade. So Neeb kills 29 workers, still up in army. Huge upgrade advantage. And if the disruptor shot comes in, you can just blink out of it as well. 29 workers down, going to be blinking in for the disruptor kill. And now he is going to have to fight the stalkers, and obviously Astrea can blink back. I think the +2 on this is just going to be a little bit too much. And Neeb getting those upgrades early. Astrea's build doesn't really get upgrades because he goes disruptors. And disruptors are meant to stop any sort of stalker versus stalker fight happening, so you don't really need the upgrades. GG called, and Neeb is going to take it 2-1 over Astrea.